If you're playing me.
Now that I have your attention, news reaching us says Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk are officially confirmed. It is a go. I repeat, it is a go. Though no date has been released yet as of now, but the contract has been signed per Tyson Fury's official Twitter handle and his Instagram. Well, we are looking forward to that fight. But before then, we want all the smoke. I'm here with all the smoke. And with all the smoke, like I said, like Uncle Mike here, taking in the smoke, inhaling it, killing and killing it, anything you want to call it. Roger Mayweather giving you the pap, pap, pop, pap, 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 pap. You know, I'm here and I want all the smoke.
Me alive.
What happened, Sam?
It was a boy. I don't know. I think he liked me.
What he did, Sam?
He buried me alive. I came off the zip line and he buried me alive.
And woo, the hood is ready. Everybody's ready. Me and my homies, we gonna turn up for that Charlo versus Canelo fight. You know, look at the face of Charlo looking all ready, but then looking like the moment is getting to him. I don't get what the smirk on his face is there for. You're supposed to be in the mood for the fight of your life, going up 2 weight classes against a tough world champion, world-class fighter, well-renowned and proven, you know, killer like Canelo Saul Alvarez. So what are you smiling for? What are you, smirking for? You should be here to take this guy's head off and leave no stone unturned, leave no doubt in the haters' minds that you're here for the game. You're not just here to take part.
I'm a fighter. What you want me to do? You want me to bow down to you? That I never done. And that I would never do.
Hell no, bro. We don't need you to bow down to him. We need you to take his head off. Canelo over here looking shredded, looking strong, looking lean and mean and ready to weigh in at 168 pounds, the official fight weight. Man, I can't wait for this fight. Something tells me that Canelo is about to remind everybody about who the baddest MFer in the game is. Everybody is right now on Terence Crawford's side, but Canelo is about to remind us that, remember, I'm the guy that put Triple G in the dirt 3 times. He touched me, but he couldn't hurt me. I'm that guy that put American in the dirt. I'm that guy that put Sergey Kovalev in the dirt. I'm that guy that made Danny Jacobs look like an amateur. I am that guy. That's what I think Canelo is out here to remind us. So I'm looking forward to this fight. I don't know about you guys, but one of his former sparring partners had this to say about Canelo.
I think he's genuinely tired of boxing. He's had numerous surgeries all over his body. You putting shit in your gas tank, it's gonna hurt.
So even though this recording was from a while ago, it clearly states the reason why we've been seeing problems with Canelo's gas tank. As soon as it's the 4th or 5th round, you start noticing Canelo sort of taking breaks in between his punches, trying to rest and relax in between the rounds, and trying to pick when he will be active and try to pick when he will rest and all that stuff. So this, means a lot going into the Charlo fight. Can Charlo sustain pressure up on Canelo the way Dimitri Bivol was able to? Triple G wasn't able to, of course, because age had already caught up with him largely by the time he and Canelo fought. But can Charlo do it? Because they are roughly of the same age, and I don't know how Charlo has aged given the wars that he was in with Castano, Harrison and the likes. I would argue that Canelo has aged more. But then, let's look at what KSI is up to. Bro, I hope this is a joke. How can you be going up in your next fight and you're already fainting in the gym from working out too hard? He needs some food, bruv. Otherwise, he's not gonna make it. He can never make it. So, these are the odds of betting on KSI to beat Tommy Fury after seeing that video where KSI was almost fainting during training. It is not a good sign when fighters leave it all on the training. And that is exactly what happened to Errol Spence. That's why till today we are still listening to excuses upon excuses of why he lost the fight to Terence Crawford. And real boxing fans know that we were supposed to get this Charlo versus Jacobs fight since I think the year 2016. I don't know what eventually happened between these two fighters. Jacobs' career has sort of gone down the drain a little bit, but then this fight, if it happened today, will still pull a lot of numbers, especially with the Jermell Charlo at 160. I don't know where he is right now, whether he's going to go for the Caleb Plant fight, or he's going to go towards David Benavidez, or he's going to go towards, I don't know where he's going to go. But if they give us this fight with Jacobs, I personally would not be mad. I personally would be very, very grateful to see it, because the level of beef they had back then was something that was nearing that point where it was almost in mid-fight. But eventually it did not happen. We did not get to see it. And I personally would not be mad if that fight gets made today just to settle scores. It's almost like Anthony Joshua versus Wilder. Regardless of whether they have the belts or not, you just want to see the fight just to see who will have the bragging rights at the end of the day. Wonderboy Thompson is my most favorite UFC fighter of all time, just because of the purity of his technique. He looks like an artist that missed his way and found himself in the octagon, and he goes up against Shavkat in a fight that he says is going to be a very good way to close the year with. I personally can't wait to see it, with Shavkat being so highly rated, undefeated, and Wonderboy looking for just one last thrust towards UFC gold, seeing if he can mount a meaningful challenge for the belt if he is able to put Shavkat away. Personally, I think Shavkat has the momentum right now, even though I won't be so quick to underrate and write off Wonderboy. His technique, like I said, in that octagon is just so beautiful. His kicks are nothing like I've ever seen from any fighter in the history of me watching fights. And I can tell you this for free, that fight is going to be a blockbuster. I don't know how it ends, but if I would predict, I think I would predict a Shavkat finish in the second round. My reasons being the younger, hungrier fighter. But then, with these UFC veterans, just like the fight between Paddy Pimblett and Tony Ferguson, you just never know. Just when you think you know something, a veteran can just pull off a move that shocks everyone and ends the other person's hype. So, to these two lions that are about to jump into the cage and do damage to each other to see who is going to come out as the best man on the night. Well, I know the fans are already waiting on the sidelines to troll whoever ends up losing, especially if the loss is as devastating as the Spence versus Crawford fight. If somebody gets knocked out or if somebody just looks brutally bad, it's not going to be funny in those comment sections. Twitter is not going to be funny tomorrow morning. I already know the fans are leaking away in anticipating the outcome of this fight. And in other news, it has taken the LAPD 27 years after Tupac Shakur passed away to finally arrest somebody who has been parading himself around since as a prime suspect, confessing on several occasions that he was there, he was in the car. In fact, he was the person that gave the gun to the eventual killer, Orlando Anderson. And according to a lot of people, he was the one that pulled the trigger. But since Anderson is dead and cannot defend himself, Kifidi just put the death on him. In other words, I think this is something that everybody has already known. Kifidi famously warned Mike Tyson, telling him, to better keep off with that energy when Tyson was talking about, I wish they could grant me 5 minutes in the cage, or rather in the ring with Tupac's killer. And Kifidi told him to just, calm down, before he gets hurt. So Kifidi has always been parading himself as the guy that killed Tupac, even though he did not say it directly, but him admitting to bringing the weapons that were used in the execution of Tupac, him admitting to being the one that encouraged Orlando Anderson to get back at Tupac after Tupac stomped him out with the death row crew, him admitting to being in the car, him admitting to being right there, like around everything that happened on the night. And it almost got to a point where the only thing remaining for him to say was, I'm the one that pulled the trigger. So personally, this doesn't come as a surprise to me, given the fact that I've always expected it to be. The only surprising thing here is the fact that it has taken this long. So I don't know what the previous deal he struck with the LAPD was, but I guess the agreement has expired, which is the only reason why they eventually decided to bring him in at this point in his life. The case is still there. We're going to be following it up, knowing what the final verdict is. I don't think there's much to really dig. The Tupac death has been filled with so many controversies. Every year, there's always a new finding. It's evergreen. It's never going to go away. So even with this seemingly being the final nail in the coffin, if you come out and say, well, we finally solved the mystery, Kifidi did it, this is something everybody has already known first and foremost. So it won't really bring any closure. It will just give rise to even more controversies, whether his story is true, whether the accounts of other people that were there on the night are also true, whose word will it be against the words of Kifi D? Will it be the words of the LAPD against Kifi D's words, or is there any other witness that's still alive today? Nobody knows as of now, But like I said, it's just going to give rise to more controversies. But we'll be following it up closely because, Tupac's death is linked very much to fighting, as I've mentioned previously, given the fact that he died on the night where Mike Tyson, was fighting. So let me know what you think in the comment section about all of this, especially the Canelo versus Charlo fight. And I'll see you guys on Sunday morning, immediately after whoever must have gone down, in whatever round that the person eventually goes down, whether it's Canelo or Charlo. Personally, my prediction is that Canelo beats Charlo in 9 rounds. So let me know your prediction in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe.